Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Everybody, what's happening? The A&B show coming to you live from a fireplace. Look at this, it's beautiful, the ambiance. And Brad Tesh with me is Sean Valancourt.
What's up?
Or something, that's where he is. Sean, good morning. Hello.
Hey man, how you doing? Can you
Doing
believe
well.
it? It's another wonderful PNW day. It's raining on us. It's awesome.
Yeah, mid-40s rain. So suck it, the rest of you guys, and stuck in the winter. That's how it works. Sean, busy couple of weeks. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel great. Really happy with the way that last episode went with the last interview there. Got me into a whole new appreciation of a lot of things. And Super Bowl's over.
Super Bowl.
It's over.
That's right. What are your quick takes about the Super Bowl?
Oh my goodness. There's nothing quick about it. Is it weird that DraftKings gets involved now with the NFL that heavily, and all of a sudden we are seeing some of the strangest calls ever?
I think that there's a bit of revisionist history there, but go ahead, keep going.
Like, I'm there going to myself, okay, AFC Championship. Absolute sham. Just a sham. Sham of a game.
That just real quick though, you're invested in the AFC Championship game a little more than just casually.
No. I mean, it would have been nice to see an Ohio team make it, the Bengals. But
I just figured since you have their jersey that you were more.
well, that was because my wife met Fulcher there and got it signed for me and everything. It's pretty cool. Nevertheless, yeah, I like the point you're trying to go on there. I'm not putting the stamp of approval on it. I own plenty of jerseys, as you know. It's just the way it is. Thing is, though, that Super Bowl championship game was such a great game, Brad. It was such a great game. It was a classic. And then the ref pulls out his dirty laundry in the last minute and 30 seconds. Completely. And I'm not saying, here's the thing, Brad. I'm not saying that in a minute and 30, for sure, that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to lead this Philadelphia Eagles down the field to tie the game up or whatever, or even to win the game. I'm not saying that. It's the fact that they didn't even give it to him. They gave him 4 seconds to work with. It was like, come on, this is ridiculous. You don't throw the laundry in something that trivial. And then you hear the quarterback that just all of a sudden, yeah, it was the right call. Like somebody paid him off saying, you say this now. Here. There we go. It's over. Because it was a terrible call. It was terrible. It didn't impede him on his way to the end zone.
So we don't know that. Here's what I would say. There was no competitive advantage gained on that play. That's the thing about it.
Yes, exactly. He was by him. He was by him. Did he hold him up? Did he tug on it? Yeah, I believe that he did tug on it. Was it enough to hold him up? I don't know about that.
It wasn't enough for him to be able to catch that pass. That was overthrown.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about a different circumstance if that ball is catchable.
Exactly.
But it wasn't.
No.
And so there was no competitive advantage gained on that play. That play happens 80% of the snaps. These days, there's some kind of whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do it there. You just can't.
Listen, I was watching the game, and the ref was letting him play pretty much the whole game. And then all of a sudden, now you have a bug up your bonnet? It's like, what is that?
A what?
A bug up your bonnet.
Oh,
a bee in the bonnet.
Yeah. I heard about a bee in the bonnet. I never heard about a bug up the bonnet.
Well, a bee is a bug. It's
there's a cultural translation there I'm not quite familiar with. It was hard. It was hard to watch. I mean, congratulations to the Chiefs. They won. They played it well. Again, to your point, the refs didn't cost the Eagles the game. They cost the fans and the Eagles a chance to see if they could go down and tie it or win it. We just don't know.
That's exactly it. And the thing is that it's a good possibility that they could have. There's a good possibility they couldn't have.
Yeah.
It's like it's a 50-50 call. Let them sort it out in the field.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't throw your laundry out there.
We could talk even about, the kicker for the Chiefs, Old Bucker, not being the most accurate kicker right now. That field being kind of not great.
That field was terrible.
A whole nother conversation to have.
Yeah.
But maybe he doesn't make that kick. Who knows? But they took away maybe what could have been the greatest 2 minutes in Super Bowl history. They took that away from everybody. So
absolutely, and honestly, if it starts becoming to the point where the ref is like, "Look at me," it's like, get out of here. No, I know what I was saying when I entered in with my conversation about DraftKings and everything like that. I'll still say that about the AFC Championship game. There's a lot of money on upsets on that thing, but I'm sorry.
Listen, if the Bengals would have won, I would have won $11,000 on that parlay that I put down, which is silly. I bet $5 and I hit everything but the Bengals winning. I needed the Bengals to win.
That's crazy. Yeah,
needed it.
Yeah, but
That's what it is.
Yeah. They saw your payday coming, Brad, and they said no.
Listen, full transparency. If my app would have let me log in from where I live, because we can't legally gamble in the state, and so I actually had made that.
Cover your ears, everybody.
No, I made the bet legally. I made the bet in Oregon when it was legal. I couldn't log in to cash out because I definitely would have cashed that parlay out.
Earlier.
If they'd offered it to me, they'd offer me $6,000 to cash out over $5. Shoot.
I'm telling you.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Oh my goodness. It was a great game right up until that. And then I'm sorry, you are dealing with come on. Andy Reid has to be one of the greatest coaches I think we've ever seen coach the game.
Yeah.
But you're giving him a chance to coach it all the way out. It's like, what's he going to do? He's going to risk it? No, he's going to coach it out.
Yeah.
But some of those plays he was doing, man, it was crazy seeing that there. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of Nick Sirianni. I don't even know where Nick Sirianni came from. It's just like, was he like Vinny, the next Vinny on the Eagles? I don't even know where he came from. Where did he come from? I know he's from the Shanahan coaching tree. Maybe he was there serving them. He was a water boy. I don't know. Where did he come from? But there he is in the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, he had a good game plan going in the first half. You knew that the second half, though, that's a hard thing to try to do. You can't, you're not going to let him have the ball the whole entire time? And you are talking about Patrick Mahomes. So, it was a good game plan just walking in.
What Philly was able to do in the first half by controlling the ball, not through rushing, but through passing, was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But not sustainable, to your point.
No. Because you knew in the second half he gets the ball. It's like,
you think that Andy Reid is not talked about as one of the greatest coaches ever because of his stature?
Oh, I think that whatever now, it's like you have to consider him one of the
greatest. But not before, though, right? I mean, you talk about the greatest coaches, and it's, the Chuck Knowles and maybe the Jimmy Johnsons and the Tom Landrys, right? It's always like big, commanding, forward thinking, just kind of big.
Don Shula.
Yeah, right? And then you got, old fat cheeseburger eating Andy over here.
Hey, man, he could eat all the cheeseburgers he wants.
I'm not saying he's not a great coach. I'm just asking do you think he doesn't get the respect maybe that from the fans anyway?
I don't know. I think now it's a whole different thing. You see the love that everybody's just giving that guy. It's like,
but now we're talking about he's been relevant for a long time.
But did you see? I guess people took offense to Terry Bradshaw and stuff like that when he said, "Hey, get the big guy over here." Talking about Andy Reid. Get the big guy over. Waddle on over here. And I'm like, and of course it's in the tweets. It's like, what's this guy saying? Waddle? Is that body shaming? Is that are they body shaming Andy Reid?
Maybe this doesn't fly very far, but I feel like we've got to give a pass to men of a certain age to say some things. Like, it's funny. Is it mean? It's absolutely mean, but is it funny? Also, yes. Because if you think Andy Reid does anything but waddle, you haven't been paying attention. He's the only coach that doesn't run off the field with his team. He waddles behind him.
Danny DeVito and the Penguin?
Yeah, he could be.
Oh, man.
Danny DeVito's jealous how Andy Reid walks.
Andy Reid could do whatever he wants right now. I think he could do
I was more interested in what his post-game celebratory meal was going to be than I was by hearing how he called the game. You know me. I love it.
Listen, maybe because they had one Super Bowl championship and everything like that, but that second one now, I think that solidifies him. You can't look at him in any other way but one of the greatest coaches of all time.
It is unfortunate that he coaches for a team that is their colors are red and gold, predominantly red, because he looks like the Kool-Aid Man. Tell me that
he's waddling on over through the wall, through the brick
That's
wall.
probably how he gets them all fired up at halftime. Is he like bursts through this paper brick wall?
Oh yeah!
I got the game plan, Pat. Oh yeah!
Oh my gosh!
Maybe.
Listen, what do you think? Because I don't think anybody gave the Chiefs really a fair shake, going all the way, especially after losing all the pieces that they lost.
Yeah, which ended up just being Tyreek Hill, which they both went to have.
No, the Honey Badger was gone there too. Nobody gave their secondary a shot.
Yeah.
And their defense.
Because they had two rookies, but that turned out to not matter.
Yeah.
Because them boys held up. So,
And Pacheco ended up looking like a veteran out there.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who?
Yeah, exactly. It didn't matter. They seriously did a great job and that's I think that part of that's the magic of these kind of coaches. You know what? I give Pete Carroll a hard time because of that one call. But let's face it, Pete Carroll can draft. Pete Carroll can coach him. He knows what he's doing.
And we now know that one call you're upset about.
That's baloney. That's because I hear from whatever here and whatever there. Honestly, you're going to tell me that a second year or third year Russell Wilson is calling those plays? I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Super Bowl winning Russell Wilson?
Huh?
Super Bowl winning Russell Wilson?
From his second year. This is his third year in the league. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. You can sell me a lot of goods. That one I'm not buying.
You don't got to buy it. It's fine. Anyway, one of the greatest Super Bowls the last 2 minutes I think we've ever seen. It was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Fantastic back and forth. Those low-ish scoring games in the first half aren't always the most entertaining. That one happened to be. Really, that game swung on a defensive play. That Jalen Hurts fumble that was returned for a touchdown.
Yeah,
that ends up being the deciding.
That was a sucker.
Really ends up being the deciding play.
That sucked the Eagles momentum.
Yeah, but the Eagles defense didn't give up enough points to lose.
No,
that's that's the thing we don't talk about quite enough. It was that play and then that return that the Chiefs had, that kickoff return.
Oh, unbelievable! At the end,
to put them into range.
Yeah.
Both those things put them into spots that
unbelievable.
Philly defense came into play.
I got to be honest with you. When I saw that Rihanna halftime show, I was expecting something similar to what happened to Baltimore and San Fran. Like half the stadium was going to go out, because that was a great halftime show. That was a lot of lights, a lot of all this. It was like, wow. I was expecting that to happen. Didn't. So didn't give the other half. I mean, it was just a great game. I'm glad it's over.
Speaking of Rihanna, are you familiar that she has that many hits?
Yeah, it totally slipped my mind. Half of them slipped my mind. I'm like, what's she gonna sing? Umbrella? That's what I thought the whole entire time. She's gonna be singing Umbrella, and then all the hits started going. I'm like, oh, she has a lot of hits.
A lot.
Like not a little bit, a lot.
Yeah, didn't have to bring anyone out to guest spot. Even though she could have,
It was a really good one. It was almost as good as Lady Gaga's. Lady Gaga's was amazing, and last year was. I'm sorry, that was amazing. So very, very good. But I'm glad. I'm glad the Super Bowl's over. I'm glad all this nonsense is over.
The nonsense is just starting.
We got
the coaching carousel is going around now. We're gonna have some free agency opening up. The draft's on its way.
Yeah. The draft is interesting. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of teams in position to make themselves better, or do the same.
Who do you think is going to be the most? So looking in your, doing your voodoo that you know how to do, in your little glass ball there. Who has the most impact on a new team next year? Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr or David Carr, whatever his name is.
Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers will have an impact wherever he goes.
Okay. Who is most likely to have a positive impact where he goes next year? Mr. Carr or Mr. Rodgers?
No, Mr. Rodgers still. Derek Carr is, I don't know. I mean, how can you not make it work in Vegas? I don't understand. They even bring in Devontae Adams, and he still can't make it work in Vegas. Now, is it going to be reunited and it feels so good for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams in Vegas, or is he going to pull a Brett Favre and go to the Jets? Either way, Rodgers is going to make either of those teams better. Either of them.
Interesting.
Derek Carr is...
You believe in Josh McDaniels that much to think that Aaron Rodgers can go there and not be terrible?
Over there?
In Vegas.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
It's not that I believe or don't believe. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. Like, Green Bay, you knew that they took away his last weapon. You knew it was just going to be...
I mean, they're not without weapons right now.
What, Randall Cobb?
No.
Who?
They have Christian Watson, who was a rookie, and Romeo Doubs show up. Both those are great. They've got a fantastic running game, like great lines, fantastic defense. That do it for you?
No.
Yeah.
No. But...
What if Aaron Rodgers goes to Las Vegas and Mr. Carr ends up in Green Bay?
I don't see that happening. I say Love's going to end up starting in Green Bay. Green Bay will be just fine. I think Derek Carr is, I don't know. He can end up on the Jets. Who knows? I mean,
he'll end up somewhere. He wasn't going to end up anywhere at $40 million a year. He's just not that kind of guy.
No.
But you could see him landing in New Orleans.
He's going to be like Baker Mayfield.
25 or 30.
Those two are going to be vying for a starting job somewhere.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think those two are in the same stratosphere. But
you don't think so? I think that they're very comparable. Very comparable. I mean, and give Kyler Murray a little bit longer, he'll be right along with them.
If Arizona could get out of the contract, they would get out of the contract. Kyler's going to be in Arizona for a while just because. I think they're hoping he goes to play baseball. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's funny though because apologies again to Jacksonville because you got a quarterback there. There's no denying it. He came, he played. I mean, that first few weeks looked terrible, but then
Urban Meyer set him back a little bit.
Absolutely. But Doug Peterson's got to be the quarterback whisperer.
Well, I mean, play in the league for as long as Doug Peterson did without being good at
look
something.
What he did. Look what he did with Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And he built Nick Foles up. He's a quarterback.
Don't wait, Gardner Minshew. Don't forget about Gardner.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe that wasn't right.
In that time period? No, because he would have been in Jacksonville before he went over to Philly. That's right.
Sorry.
That's Nick Sirianni, I think you're thinking about there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick the Quick.
Where did this guy come from? That's the more important story. Where did this guy come from? Who is this guy?
It's crazy. It's almost like if you had a machine in your pocket that you could just ask and they would tell you. But, you don't, so it's fine.
Oh my gosh. This guy with his Googles. His
Google, his ability to use research properly to find answers to
just
things.
Like, millennial stuff here. Just tell me where he came from. Tell me the coach. Oh, no, I got to Google it myself.
Well, because I don't care about Nick Sirianni, just like you don't. I mean, that's just really the thing.
That doesn't keep you up at night? Where did this guy come from? He's in the Super Bowl. Where did he come from?
No.
In the world?
No, I don't think about any of those things.
This guy just shows up. Hey, it was a great idea? If I coach the Philadelphia Eagles, then you're going to let me.
I don't know that he's from the... Yeah, he's not. There's no way he's from the Shanahan tree.
You sure he's not a water boy somewhere there in San Fran? Are you sure?
Yeah. No, he was at some small colleges. Then he was with the Chiefs, starting in 2009 as the quality control coach. And then he was an assistant QB coach. And then he was a wide receivers coach in Kansas City. So from 2009 to 12, he was in Kansas City. He was with the Chargers from 13 to 17. All his position coaches, quarterback coaches, and wide receiver coaches. Went to the Colts in 2018, where he was the offensive coordinator until 2020, and then he was hired as the head coach of.
That's right.
So I would say he's
That's right. Frank Reich, even though he was the offensive coordinator, he didn't call anything. I remember hearing something about that. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I would say he's from the Andy Reid chain. If he's
there, you go. Okay. All right. I like that. All right.
Speaking of the Andy Reid chain, how about Eric Bieniemy not getting a head coaching gig?
He's smart.
So he's going to be the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator of the Commanders now.
Is that where he's going?
That's where he went.
Why would he go there?
Because they made him the assistant head coach and they paid him more money.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He should have stayed.
He's going to go work for Riverboat Ron.
I don't know why. Well, still, it could be worse places to go, I guess. But
Commanders are pretty terrible.
They are. Although you know what? They almost made the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs.
They did.
It's hard to even think that they did. Anyways, though, man, listen, Super Bowl's done. I'm happy. Yeah, we're gonna end up talking about draft and free agency. It's all coming up. But right now, things are getting hot and heavy in the NBA and the NHL. We are looking at playoff hockey, the best form of hockey. You know what really... All right, I'm going to say this one thing. This really irritated me, Brad, that apparently 22% the viewership has gone down in the United States from last season. And the thing is that there are storylines that are out there this season. There are storylines that are out there and they're just not hitting the head of the nail with the hammer to end up talking about this. They're just not.
I can't believe you didn't make it as a pro wrestler.
There's stories. Listen. This is what ticks me off, man. We're all talking about LeBron James breaking. Right now, they're saying it's the story of the year, breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. Okay. Fantastic. He takes a very nice night off. It's like, I'm done. I broke the record. Taking it off. Your team is not even in the playoffs. And then you got the blow up in Brooklyn, where it's like, all of a sudden, Kyrie Irving's there going, I ain't playing here, until they punish him and they send him to the Mavs. Now all of a sudden you got Durant. All of a sudden, nope, I don't want to play here neither. Never have I ever seen ownership. They just bow down. Like, what? You're under contract. Oh, okay. You really want out. I see this. This is a big thing.
Well, okay, real quick. There's only a handful of players in the league that can do that.
Is there?
Kevin Durant doesn't need the money. Kyrie Irving doesn't need the money. They'll just sit. They have leverage. Right?
It's ridiculous.
Spencer Dinwiddie or whatever his name is that now plays in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He can't do that.
He's back in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he can't do that now.
No.
Right?
Listen, it's ridiculous that a handful of players can hold organizations absolutely at ransom and then all of a sudden destroy your organization in a heartbeat.
I mean, hold on. Brooklyn's been better since those two have been gone, let's be honest. So, I get what you're trying to say.
Can you imagine Connor McDavid just walking in right now into Edmonton? Just going, you know what?
If he had $100 million in the bank, yes.
I'm done.
If he had endorsement deals that were paying him real money, paying him more money than he's making on the court,
that
yes. Guy. Middle relievers in baseball that don't matter also make $15 million.
It's ridiculous.
Okay?
It's
the eighth player in the NBA makes $15 million. So let's just...
I understand.
The level of dollars is different.
The level of dollars is different.
But we did see this. That kid he bought his way out of the Buffalo organization, right? We had the back thing.
No, that was him just disagreeing with the way that they wanted to deal with him with his back. And you're talking about he's on Vegas.
But then he forced himself a trade.
He forced himself into a trade, and then he ended up getting back surgery in the end of the day.
Because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah. But. You know, it's
Fleury,
no.
Crap.
No. Now you're gonna have me think about this now. Oh my goodness! And why is his name not coming up at the top? It's not like, Reinhardt. It's
like Connor or Craig or some other.
It wasn't a Craig.
Lakeland or
it wasn't Lakeland. What in the world? Look it up. Look up Vegas right now. Look up Vegas Golden Knight roster. He'll be right.
You're gonna be. Oh, now you want me to use my Google machine?
Yeah, use your Google machine. Anyways, listen. It's a shame that certain players, because that somehow the organization that they've actually become rich from, they've become so rich that they can do this. They can completely manipulate things. I mean, is Phoenix really that good now that you have Durant and you have Chris
Same
Paul?
as Jack Eichels.
Jack Eichel. There we go.
Told you it was a common name.
Yeah. Anyways, American-born player, great player.
It's crazy to me that you know where everyone's born.
But the thing is, I mean, so the trade deadlines, the trades are coming hot and heavy. Dallas Mavericks looks a lot different and better with Kyrie Irving over there.
Yeah.
We'll see what Durant does with Phoenix.
Well, I mean, can Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul all stay healthy for the rest of the season? What's the over on games played?
They're all, a little long on the tooth. So
Devin Booker's not long in the tooth, but he's injury prone, right? They're going to play 5 games together the rest of the season until the playoffs.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I mean,
You got Ty Lue coming out this week talking about the Clippers, saying, "Oh, if I can get 25 consecutive games with Kawhi and Paul George and the rest of the group, I feel like we'll be hot in the playoffs."
Yeah.
You're gonna, you talk about the James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. They played 16 games total over a couple of years.
That was it.
So
yeah,
continuity matters, right?
Absolutely. But you know what? Nevertheless, it doesn't matter. It goes to show you can have all the great pieces, all the great players together, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a hill of beans. You aren't going to guaranteed a championship. But all I'm trying to say is that shame on them for being able to hold organizations ransom, to hold teams ransom. It's not right. That the league that has made you this rich, that you could hold them ransom.
So would you say that you support indentured servanthood?
You know my answer on that. And if you're going to say that these guys are indentured servants, then there's a problem somewhere. All I'm saying is that there has to be something. I mean, you want to trade, that's fine. But the way that these guys are finagling for trades is just like...
I agree. I do agree. I think that the honor is gone. I think that the market has shifted.
It makes the product not as palatable. You know what I mean? Especially when you see a guy just smash a record, and he's going to take the next 2 nights off.
I mean,
your team is not in the playoffs.
He smashed the record at home in a loss too, so that's fine.
Your team is not in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. And the thing is is this the number one story? Yeah, he did something great. What's his team going to do now? They made a whole bunch of trades to try to make it to the playoffs. They're behind the Portland Trailblazers, who was like the classic last play-in team. You know what I mean? Like they don't make the playoffs; they make the play-ins, and then somehow they make the playoffs. That's how Portland does it. You know what I mean?
As you're talking about, time I get there, that's just the hard part about that structure.
I think it's a great structure.
I do too. I'm just saying it's hard. It's hard to. It's designed to be difficult. That's the thing, right?
Absolutely. I don't know. But yeah, trades are happening in the NBA. Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
The trade deadline just finished?
Now we're in the buyout market, which is always kind of weird.
That is weird, yeah.
So the guys that didn't get traded now can, become free agents. And
trade deadline is coming up in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks there, so in the NHL.
Let's see, how far are we into this thing? What does that say? How far are we?
March 3rd.
No, how far are we into this thing? 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 30 minutes in where you have to talk about the biggest Maple Leafs trade in the last 20 years.
Oh, you have been paying attention. Wow. Impressive.
I was letting the clock run to see how long we would go. And we went through the whole thing.
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say anything.
My goodness, look at you.
My goodness. My jaw went like this. And then the way that they made it work, Brad, the way that they made it work where St. Louis keeps 50% of O'Reilly's contract, and Minnesota picks up the other 25%. We're only paying for 25% of his contract. This is perfect. This is exactly what we needed. We have 3 awesome centermen.
Yes, you got Ryan O'Reilly, who we'll
Yes.
talk about in a second, and Noel Acari.
Yeah.
And then you gave away a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And a second-round pick.
Yeah, and a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long do you lament that you traded the first and second?
Absolutely not. Absolutely no way.
What if you don't win this year? What if you don't make it out of the first round this year?
There's a lot to lament then, but the thing is that I really think right now Toronto has said it. They put all their chips in on this season.
Do you think you'll openly cry when they lose in the first round?
I will be devastated if they lose in the first round. I will be devastated because they put all their chips in. There's nothing else. There's nothing else now. You've bet the farm, and like next season, if you don't make it out of the first round and win a cup. Next season could be Austin Matthews' last season with the Leafs. I mean, it could be the beginning of the end of everything. And then you have no future. You have no future.
Oh, to be a Leafs fan.
You know?
This smells a lot like the guy walking to the table with his last $100 and putting it on the blackjack hand.
It's going to go one of two ways.
One of two ways.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Dude, this is exactly the move the Leafs needed to do, though. Because it was just like, okay, you can't get... You go out and you get the top player in there. And it's arguable, is he? He's definitely one of them. And the funny thing is that, like, St. Louis is kind of a fire sale.
Who's he now? Who's he?
Ryan O'Reilly. So Patrick Kane is on the market there, right? And again, he's probably the top dog out there.
Still?
Kane. Absolutely top dog for a trade market. Absolutely.
I feel like he's been the guy for 10 years. Isn't he not old?
He's extremely old. Yeah, but he's still good.
Here's a sidebar.
Yeah.
We talk about, and when I say we, it's the royal we. I mean it's you. Talk about that hockey is the hardest sport to play and it's the most physically demanding, right?
Hockey, first off, hockey is the most demanding, and to win the Stanley Cup is the most difficult championship to win in all of professional sports.
But how many productive 40-year-olds are there still in the NHL?
It's a handful.
A handful more than every other sport.
That's because they take care of themselves.
Okay. Or they just play less games. But
they play 82 games. What are you talking about?
It's not that demanding. It's not that demanding then. That's all I'm saying.
This guy.
Anyway, back to your
This guy. Listen. It's the hardest championship to win in all of professional sports. That is the hardest thing to win is the Stanley Cup. That's the hardest thing. You know?
But how many teams have gone back-to-back in the last decade?
In the last decade?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
How many times did they do
it? Pittsburgh Penguins.
How many times did Tampa Bay do it?
Twice.
They only won 2 cups?
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing with Pittsburgh, twice.
Okay. So 40% of the last 10 have been 2 teams.
Yeah,
but it's still the hardest thing to do.
It's still the hardest thing to do.
Okay.
It is. You have to go through the 82-game season. Injuries happen. By the time you hit the playoffs, I mean, have you seen these guys block pucks?
Yeah. It's
crazy. Absolutely crazy. Why do you think all those Canadians have no teeth in front of their lips? It's like, yeah.
Well, healthcare, but
and here's the thing. So they go in for this trade. They get O'Reilly, and yeah, they finagle it so they could fit him under the salary cap. There's no real need except for depth. That's it. And especially if you're going up against a Tampa Bay, you need depth. That's a team built to go for the long haul, right?
Because they've won how many in the last
2?
Okay.
2. So
been to 3?
They've been to 3 in a row. Yeah.
Not for nothing. Hardest thing to win.
It is the hardest thing to win. Don't forget that their 2 cups that they won were in COVID seasons there. So last season was their first one there. Okay. It was like, come on now. But to me, we're looking at the Leafs going all in. So this is do or die. Seattle, they're having fun.
Yeah.
They're in 3rd. They're only 2 points out of Vegas, Edmonton, that's hard times there. How do you go in there? You got 2 guys that are going to be over 100 points. And you got old Soupy there. who was the Leafs' old goaltender, and he's just not looking the greatest over there. I mean, he's good and he's bad. He's good and he's bad. But that's the thing about the Western Conference. It's like it's just a hard conference to be in. Seattle's got nothing to prove. They could do whatever. Who knows?
Or lose.
That's exactly it.
Most dangerous teams in the league. Teams that have nothing to lose.
But then you have a look at Boston. Boston is the big boys on the block this season.
Boston's the juggernauts.
And I'm just curious to see where Patrick Kane goes. Vladimir Tarasenko ended up going to Rangers.
They'll go to Boston.
You think so? It's a possibility.
They have to make a move now that Toronto did. They've got to push in.
That was the thing, is that Patrick Kane was supposed to go to the New York Rangers, and then Patrick Kane balked, like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden...
Like what?
I don't know. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Vladimir Tarasenko ends up onto the New York Rangers. Rangers look pretty darn good for the playoffs, especially with Tarasenko on there as well. So, us getting O'Reilly, that's the next big one. So then the last big one there is Patrick Kane. Then you have some defensemen, which I'm sure that Seattle would gladly make a trade to get a good defenseman. It'll look better for them, too, going down the stretch. This is great hockey time. This is great time to be watching.
I think that Seattle is content to sit where they are and ride the roster.
Why shouldn't they? I mean, quite honestly, as it goes right now...
The little slump they hit right at the All-Star, right? With Matty Beaners was hurt. Now that Matty's back, they've been picking up right where they left off.
That's exactly it.
So, I don't know that they make another deal. I think that they might hold fast, but we'll see.
Well, the thing is that you can. It really won't affect them either way.
No.
You can get a good defenseman, but how much do you have to give up for that? And we put a pounding on those dirty old Habs. First time we beat them this season, it's like we smacked them around just like the dirty habitants that they are.
Not quite sure what that means, folks. That sounds serious.
Oh, I'm excited. We're getting into NHL
Sounds
playoff
like a
time.
side dish.
I'm all about this here. Positivity for the Leafs. Absolutely. I am all about it.
Folks, stay tuned for that. See how long Sean's positivity holds. Promise you we'll get you in the first round crying video on or about the fourth game of the Eastern Conference first round.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a lot of promising. Hey, you got a one-on-one question for me?
I do.
All right.
Going to food as I always seem to do. What is one food, or what would be the one food that universally people seem to love that you cannot stand?
That I cannot stand. That universally people love.
Like, I mean, obviously, like, there's no, you know what I'm saying, but like the general consensus is like, oh, this is something, like people, would usually agree this is a solid food, and you're just like, nah, I'll pass. Like, I'll tell you, for me, it's salmon.
Really?
I'm just not a fan.
Wow. I don't know.
Everyone talks about, like, it's his greatest thing, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. Right. Like, what do you eat? I'm like, nah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything like that for me, but I could tell you something about it in reverse. That'll work.
No, I want to know the thing that I asked.
No, I don't.
You just like everything?
Yeah.
It's a big surprise.
Big
surprise.
But in reverse, I love liver. I love liver and onions.
Oh.
I love it.
Also not a surprise.
I love it. It's like, oh yeah, give me that liver.
Who makes the best liver and onions? You yourself. What's your secret?
You gotta bread that thing, though. You gotta bread that liver. You can't just eat liver just like... You have to bread it.
Last night I had venison tacos and lingcod tacos. They're fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Well, where's my invite?
Yeah.
Got lost in the mail.
You like liver?
Got lost in the mail, guys. I don't know.
The mail. When was the last time you actually put a stamp on something and went and put it in the mailbox?
Well, I haven't. I had to put something in the mailbox for my wife. By the way, in the U.S., that's so crazy. Like you just put it in your mailbox, you put the flag up. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
It's antiquated technology. We've been doing that stuff for 100 years.
We actually, in Canada, we have to go to the mailbox and put it in.
Yeah, don't do that. Why would we do that? It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Put it in the mailbox.
It's like universal healthcare.
Man. All right. I got one question for you. Universal healthcare. Okay. This guy's he was ready just to do a spike. He's a volleyball player over here. Ready to spike this show out of here. Holy smokes. All right. Now, out of the let's go 4 North American sports. What would you say that you spend the most time watching?
What are the sports?
There's only 4 of them.
You got to tell me what they are. I don't want to make assumptions here.
Well,
you know how
football.
I feel.
Okay. Then we got baseball.
Yep.
Then we got hockey.
Yep.
Then we got basketball.
Okay.
4 major North American sports.
Man, it's difficult. I watch everything. I probably watch the most football because it happens in the winter. There's not a lot going on. Baseball, the season feels so long and the days are nice and long, and I would say football I pay attention the most to. College basketball is like where it's at for me right now.
Right now, because we're getting into March Madness.
It's such a pure version of the sport.
Do you find that you go in like ebbs and flows of certain things?
No, it's always about the same. I think once football season starts to wrap up, as the playoffs start, I start branching back into basketball. Otherwise, I'm pretty much football because football's on. 5 days a week. It feels like
it does. But now hockey. Since you met me.
Yeah. And then hockey fills in. I watch hockey on Tuesdays and Wednesdays in the fall. I watch a little bit more now. Football's over. Especially like last night I watched a lot of hockey because it's the All-Star break for the NBA, so there wasn't much on. So
Right. It was tons of hockey.
It was like the replay of the Genesis Classic, the PGA Tour, or I could have watched hockey. So.
What did you think of? All right, just side note. What did you think of the slam dunk winner there?
Oh, Max McClung, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't watched that, folks, go watch it. It's the greatest 4 dunks you've ever seen. And I love Vince Carter.
I was going to say, that's saying something.
Max McClung is 6'2", 185 pounds. And he's been getting it down since he played. I think, he was one of the first internet sensations that I remember. He's from this little town in Virginia. It's like 1,600 people.
Yeah.
And he broke J.J. Redick's scoring record. He broke Allen Iverson's records.
Wow.
As a high school kid, had some college stuff. I remember he went to Georgetown. He ended up going somewhere else too, maybe Kansas. Thought he might get drafted. Didn't. He's on a G League contract. Bounced around. He only has 2 NBA games, one for the Bulls and one for the Lakers, maybe, or the Clippers. Now he's with Philadelphia. This is fascinating to me. In his NBA career, Sean, he's made $102,000 in the last couple years. Right,
that's crazy.
It's based on how his contracts have worked out.
Wow.
He made $100,000 last night alone for winning the dunk contest.
That's insane.
You ever seen a 540? Have you ever seen a 540 dunk?
No, it was insane.
First attempt, all the dunks.
That's crazy. I know. It's crazy.
That was my biggest beef with the dunk contest, is that you would let them try a couple of times, and I hate that. That takes it all the way.
I don't like it either. Like when they did that birthday cake one with the... Like how many times are you going to go up there and try to blow this thing out?
Yeah, it's dumb. They got to wait for him to get up there and light. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Get this. I was listening to Max McClung's interview this morning, and that 540 that he made, he had never made it in practice. He could get close, but he could never complete it. And he knew last night that he had enough adrenaline going, and felt that he had the bounce just with the energy of the crowd that he could get it.
Do you think now he's gonna be able to play with those?
No,
guys?
he's Harold Miner.
Yeah, I know. He's a G leaguer, right?
Yeah, he's not a good basketball player. He's a good dunker.
I know. It's just sad, man. I would like to see this guy play.
Yeah, he made a dunk contest in 3 years. He's like another Nate Robinson. Remember little Nathan Robinson? Nate was that way too.
Is he going to go fight?
Maybe. Who knows? He's got all kinds of opportunities. He can do whatever he wants. The world's his oyster right now. He can do it all.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
He's not starting the All-Star game this year, I'll tell you that. He's 6'2", 185 pounds. He's not going to make it.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't get a surgery that makes him be able to do basketball better.
No. But you know what? doesn't he remind you of the professor a little bit there?
Yeah.
I look at the professor. I'm like, man, that guy still blows my mind. I don't care.
That guy needs a haircut, is what I think.
Yeah, it's terrible hair. Yeah. What he does with the basketball is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. Oh man! All right.
With that, kids, we've got all the hay wrapped up, thrown on the trucks, feel like we're ready to go. The heavy lifting is done. Sean did more heavy lifting. Obviously, you can tell he's got a stronger back. Till next time, kids, be good or be good at it.
Righto.